Here I'm back and I'm doing my very first process video ever on our channel on a scrapbooking layout. And this is really exciting. I finally got the technology figured out, the lighting figured out, and yeah. So here you're going to see me using the Dear Lizzie Fine and Dandy paper on my background. And then I'm also using some 7 paper journaling cards that I got, some of them from Studio Calico with a kit that I had got from there, and I also got some bigger 7 paper papers, 7 paper papers. Anyway, I'm just going to make a giant mess, and then I'm going to cover it up. Not intentionally, I wanted a little bit more of it peeking out, but I just used some white gesso down on my background paper here, and taking my photo and seeing where I'm going to place it. And there's Abby. She was hanging out with me. I was also trying to find some packaging, couldn't find any packaging, but I found a piece of plastic. So I'm just going to do the smooshing technique of the plastic and some gelatos. I used a couple different colors to make it kind of the same tone as that blue that's in the 7 paper paper. I'm going to say that a lot because it's fun. 7 paper. So there you have it. That's the mess I made. But it's okay because I knew I'd be covering up most of it anyway. So I'm just taking these circles that I punched out with a couple of different, I think I used 4 different punches. So a 2-inch punch, a 1.5-inch punch, a 1-inch punch, and then a 3/4 of an inch punch. And I'm just using some of those Project Life cards that came in my Studio Calico kit. I did grab a Dear Lizzie documentary cork paper that had some white stars on it, or sorry, hearts on it, because I wanted to bring in some cork. I wanted it to be corky. I wanted to what's into me tonight? I don't know. Anyway, it got pretty corky really quickly. Oh gosh. All right. So yeah, I'm just realizing after laying it all out that I needed I don't know if I can continue. I needed to punch a couple more holes or circles because I didn't have enough. And I'm just divided them up into 3 different categories. I had a large category, the medium category, and the small category. And at first I'm placing it down by the large category, and then I'll fill it in with the smaller pieces, the medium and then the smallest. And I'm kind of spreading out the colors and the patterns. I don't want 2 things the same right on top of each other. I want to spread it out. And I only had a little bit of this gorgeous yellowy colored paper. It looks very yellow on camera. And it is yellow, but it's like a muted yellow, if that makes any sense. And yeah, so I'm just taking a little bit of tape and tacking it down with just a little bit because I am going to sew over the circles. And I don't want to like gunk up my needle, even though I did. Okay, so this is really cool. This is a frozen tattoo, like a temporary tattoo set that I had grabbed from the Dollar Tree, and I really loved the colors in it. So I gave my daughter some of, the frozen characters, and then I wanted to use the rest on a scrapbooking layout because I was thinking, if I can stick it on human skin, it would probably stick on paper. And I get paper wet all the time when I do mixed media, so why not try this? And it turned out really cool. And I've done this before with using like acetate. I've just done a temporary tattoo over acetate, so I have like a photo overlay. Those were really cool last Halloween when the Dollar Tree had their bone temporary tattoos for your fingers and your hands. If you wanted to dress up like a skeleton for Halloween, I used those to make some Happy Mail ephemera, and I never filmed it because I wasn't into YouTube's then, but I thought I would try this technique on paper this time, and it turned out really cool. So I just scattered the border strips around in 3 different places, and scattered the snowflakes around on the top so that it just looks like it blends with the background, but they're really shiny. and pretty. So here I'm just backing my paper with some vellum. I usually use tissue paper, but I'm out of white tissue paper. How is that even possible? Oh, right, because Christmas just happened. Yeah. So I'm going to fiddle around with the placement of the picture for a little bit. And when I stood up and got back down, I realized I didn't like how angled it was. So you'll see me in a little bit adjust it again. I fidget a lot. Oh, here I'm putting on the snowflakes. I just made sure that I had the 3 blue snowflakes because I only had 3 blue ones, kind of scattered in a triangle pattern around the top part, and then the rest I just scattered like you would confetti or sequins or splatters around the page. So now I'm drying it all. And then I decided I needed some more teeny tiny silver sparkles. And this is a current temporary tattoo set that's at the Dollar Tree. I picked it up around Christmas time. I have not bought anything from the Dollar Tree. If you've seen my previous video where I talked about my goals for 2017, I did not want to purchase anything from the Dollar Tree. I wanted to save my money for kit clubs, which I just got my January hip kit. I'm so excited to bust it out. You would not even believe how excited I am. The papers are gorgeous, and I can't wait to show you guys. So now that that's done, I'm kind of contemplating on what else to do. It's looking a little busy, but I'm going to make it look even busier. And ironically, I mean, I put a lot on it, and I'm playing around trying to figure out what kind of embellishments I want to stick on there without detracting from the work that I did on the background. And ironically, the pieces that I put on there kind of took away from the busyness because they're solid colors. They're not a lot more patterns, and so it breaks up that busyness. And I was just looking for some word stickers with that Mambi sheet. It's a baby girl, baby boy kind of phrases, but there were some things in there that said like handsome, and so I was trying to think, do I want to put anything down on the photo? I've already got a little saying on the photo that says, here we go. And then you're going to see me glue this snowflake, this wood veneer snowflake down, and I really didn't like it there, so I ended up tearing it off and replacing it with another circle punch. And then I found another little flare badge, and I put it down there on the camera. Yeah, just kind of playing around, figuring out what's going to look good. I don't really want to cover up the work that I did on the right of the photo on the bottom there, so it was really hard for me to find pieces that'll work. Until I remembered, I remembered I had this really awesome cork word phrase that says, you've got style, and it's totally perfect. What I'm doing on that frame is I'm just cutting out the phrase. I'm going to use it like a sticker up on the top left corner of my picture. You'll see that in a minute. Oh, there, I'm playing with it at the bottom. But anyway, that cork phrase came from Studio Calico as well, and I've never used it because I just didn't know how to. And if you see the picture of my son, he's like totally abominable snowman, let's go to Antarctica, and doesn't match with anything. So it was just a perfect phrase for this photo. He had some, it was a really blizzardy day. We've had so much snow this year, it's not even funny. We've had snow on the ground since the 8th of December, and it has not melted, and it just continues like every, I don't know, 5 to 7 days or so to snow some more. And so we still have snow on the ground. I've never experienced this in my life before, so we're having a blast. But on this day, we got a lot of snow and big snow drifts because we had a blizzard. We've had a couple of blizzards and a couple of ice storms. And so he wanted to go outside and play, but he couldn't because the wind kept getting in his eyes and on his face, and it really hurt. And so he grabbed his, I'm just going to journal about this right now. He went and grabbed his science kit experiment glasses, like his safety glasses, goggles, whatever you want to call them, and it completely covered his face, so he could go outside and play for as long as he wanted to, and his face was good to go. So, yeah, he was just having fun, and we were having fun, and still are having fun playing in the snow. Just grabbing some ribbon. I tucked this little tag in behind the photo, and it came with a vellum pocket. Those were from Michael's last year during their summertime collection stuff. And my camera cuts off, but that's the box that I use to do my spray mists and my drops, so I don't get it all over my desk. And I used Tim Holtz's weathered wood spray, and now I'm going to cut it down as if it's not enough, but I thought it needed a border of some kind. So I cut it down just a little bit around all the edges so that I don't lose like the central location of everything. And I grab some white cardstock and I back it, tape it all down, and I go to sew it, and my sewing needle got really, really gunked up by the sticky stuff that was all on there. So I had to stop and I had to clean it, and it made my sewing crooked, but that's my error and not the sewing machine. So you'll see me pull Rosie Marie out. Here she is. And I just trim it down. I did add some sewing earlier that was off camera in some like little zigzaggy lines along the page, and you'll be able to see all that in the close-ups along with the splatters and everything. And now I'm just roughing up the edges so that it gives it a little bit of dimension. And I took my Studio Calico date stamp. I'm looking for the date that the picture was taken on, because that'll tell me what day this was, because I can't even tell you what yesterday was. I rely on my phone for everything. And I'm just going to date stamp it right above that title there. And that finishes out my layout. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being a part of my first layout of 2017 and my first layout ever being shared on the YouTubes. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad that you hung out this long, and if you are already a subscriber, we're so glad that you're here and a part of this awesome adventure. Like, subscribe, share. You guys know the drill. We'll see you next time. Bye.